I do a financial literacy class too, called Financial Peace, which is an oxymoron. We need me in finance and peace too, yeah. Because, everything that we see and have is God's. It's not ours. I mean, we're not even going to stay here for the whole journey.
Right.
So what is it that I'm doing with my time? What is it that I'm doing with my money? How am I prioritizing this? Because we have different priorities. Oh, I don't have no money, but my kid needs to be in a $300 pair of Jordans. Really? I mean, no, your kid needs some shoes. So I don't know what...
All right now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bay 100 Podcast, where I have a very, very, very special guest. Really don't need no introductions. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let her introduce herself. Miss Tonya, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm alive. God woke me up, so all is well.
Yes, that's a wonderful thing. Miss Tonya, I wanted to touch bases with you and get myself educated, I should say. I know that you do a lot of work in the community, and you've done a lot of work with the young women over in the Sunnydale area. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, why don't I begin just how it began?
Yes, okay? That would be fine.
So I was born on the 16th of May, and we do know that it was in 1963, and so we do know that. My birth certificate says 4:07 p.m., but I have a 93-year-old aunt who clearly tells me, we don't know what time you was born, because I was born literally in a New York City public housing authority, apartment 10B, at 140 West 104th Street, and that's Douglas Projects. My mom was visiting my uncle and on, and I guess I was in a rush to get here, so I came a little earlier. And then by the time I was rushed to the hospital, could they confirm that it was 4:07 when I got there. So I was born just to do what it is that I do. So you asked me about, because you started now in 2001. That's Grapevine and Nanny, but there was a lot of little life between that. By the age of 4 years old, I was orphaned. My mom left the planet, but before leaving the planet, I had a strange, what we call predilection to talking to things that nobody else hears. So my mom probably was like, I don't know what that's about. But I tell you what, go talk to your friends, right? And come to find out, my friends were not just the things that some people could say or diagnose as people with schizophrenia, because, there's voices and things you don't hear. But we forget the magical thing about who God is, okay? So really the thing that I want to talk about is really my dad. I call him Dad because during my life, since October the 1st, 1967, right, he has totally been in place. Like, no matter what you're about to go through, little girl, I'm going to be right here. It doesn't even matter that you don't have what everybody else has, okay? But you got me. And you're going to learn more and more and more about me. But before my mom left, she said, call them your friends. I thought that was a weird thing. So as I'm going to many therapists, as you notice in my lifetime record, they're like, well, this child got friends. Where do these friends come from? We don't see them. So bottom line is those friends, right, have taught me to actually love, to be kind, and to do the things that I didn't even expect or can't really imagine and cannot really explain, but I cannot deny. If that makes any sense. I cannot deny that there are things that, so what, we don't see them. That's what about God is, right?
Right.
God created an entire world. We don't see every morsel of God's world. Right. We don't understand most of his things, right? So therefore, this life has been a journey. And in that journey, it taught me, as I said, to love, and what I would call myself, I think most people will call me a teacher. And so then I have a lot of wisdom beyond what I could even tell you about. Because most people are like, well, how do you know that? I don't have the foggiest clue as to how I get these things. I just know that they're there and they're true. Okay. So what I say usually comes to truth. It comes to fruition. It's not like I just say it out my mouth and go, well, I wonder how we're going to do this. I don't know how to explain these things. I just know if I tell you something, I'm going to do it. So as a little girl, I knew I was going to be a traveler, right? I knew I was going to be a nomadic person, to just travel wherever God wanted me to travel and to venture out wherever he wanted me to venture out. Born and raised in New York City. Went to college in West Virginia, okay, which is weird because, you're like, oh my God, you're from Harlem, New York, and why are you here with all of these white people? Because guess what I had to learn? I had to learn that, guess what? Life isn't the way I look at it. So this is what this story really is about. Because we see something doesn't mean that's what it is. We got to look a little bit beyond that. Because one of the things when I was growing up and you was growing up, they told us we were substandard. We wasn't up to par with white people. We did all of these things that pulled down the American system and so on and so on and so on. Come to find out, they sent me to West Virginia. And when I say they sent me, God sent me to West Virginia to find out, no, Tonya, those are all lies. They lied. Look at all these poor white people. And trust me, since they're the majority of Americans, then that means welfare goes majority to them. Food stamps goes majority to them. So I'm setting up a story to let you know that I started to see life as what it is and not what I thought it should be. He started to remove all the things in my life that, oh my God, they're setting us up and they're telling us we're supposed to be this and we're supposed to be that. No, we were born and raised out of kingdoms. We are the chosen people. So therefore, it was like, I wasn't raised with a defeat. Okay, so I went to West Virginia, found out, oh my God, that's where all the poor people are at. Not in the state of West Virginia, but meaning white people.
Okay.
Let's look at it a different way. Let's turn it around, everything that you've learned. My degree is in healthcare administration. Okay. And I thought I wanted to work in the hospital system. Come to find out, went to the hospital every single day. How many people we got? How many people we got? How many people we got? After about a month, I said, wait a minute, something's wrong with that question. Wait a minute, are we selling sickness? Another insight. See what I'm saying? These are like, but I thought that's what I wanted to be, right? I wanted to provide adequate care for people. Wait a minute, this ain't adequate care. This is your ability to get sick, and then I will care for you. This is clearly not the system.
So let me ask you a question. What changed your direction as far as going into healthcare?
Well, what changed my direction, it was still healthcare. So we're still on the pattern of healthcare. I just had to find a niche. I could not do it in the hospital because clearly hospitals was not healthcare. See, I was looking for healthcare and hospitals was just for sick people. Okay. So my first real healthcare job was to go out and be a disease intervention specialist. And what that is the person who had to go out in the 80s and tell people that they had contracted at that time HIV, more than likely with a death sentence, that you're going to acquire, the AIDS, you're going to acquire, the immune deficiency syndrome, and more than likely you would die because we had no medicine. I got into that. See, that didn't talk about nothing about sickness. That didn't have a bed count. That had something to do with what I do. I told you I'm a teacher.
Right.
I want to teach people about, did you know that this particular health behavior that you're doing is ruining your entire life? And I know at that time it was death, but one of the things I got to do was even tell them that they had syphilis and gonorrhea and chlamydia and all the rest of the diseases that we contract sexually. And just those interviews, it's put me into the prisons, to what I would call people of low socioeconomics, to people who are using drugs, and so on and so on. So it put me into the real world. You know what I mean?
So to be clear, and not to cut you off, but to be clear, so you taught these things not only to young ladies, but also to young men?
Oh, yes. Yeah, men was my favorites. Yeah, because, trying to get y'all to figure out how y'all caught a sexually transmitted disease, that was just a laugh every single day. I was like, oh, my God, this is a joke, right? Because, of course, I'm a stud and I'm this and that. Okay, well, you're going to die. All that studying you doing. So let me tell you how. And they began to listen to me. So I began to get an audience. Let's just say that. People were like, what she's saying doesn't make sense. It wasn't like I was condemning you. I didn't come there in condemnation. I came here to say, hey, did you know that you're messing with somebody who's contracting you, giving you a disease? And if you don't stop messing with them, you're going to keep getting a disease. And if you want a family, if you want a future, you're going to have to just change the behavior. So therefore, I would go out with my pictures. I love pictures. Because showing pictures of like the different sores, the things that you don't actually think you see, and some of them were painless. Ooh. Oh, you know what? I'm going to stop doing this. Just for cuckoo to stop coming out. I don't care. But that was my first drive. Oh, my God, this is wonderful. I got me an audience. They're all, like, oh, I'm not doing anything. So, yeah. So that's what started my path to go down the healthcare that I've chosen to do. From there, I went to work with actual inmates. They were women.
Okay.
That were incarcerated in Northampton. I used to live in Pennsylvania as well. And so then for 10 years, I did that. Literally, getting them re-educated and re-entered back into what we call society. Re-establishing their families and so on and so on. Whew. But after 10 years, that was draining. God have mercy, that was draining. I'm a numbers person. I'm a result-based person, so I would rather say that if I taught you something, I want to see that it comes to fruition. I don't want to just teach it and go, now, how did that work? That didn't work too well. Oh, God, you're back in jail. Your children's back in the system. But my last straw was the day that I went into the jail, and one of the kids or one of the inmates screamed out, "Miss Tonya." Because then I was not Miss Tonya. I was in my 30s. Everybody knew me as Tonya.
Oh, okay.
Miss Tonya meant you was a kid. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Why? Is one of my babies in here? Yeah. And she was in there for attempted murder. That changed my entire trajectory of like, uh-oh, can't do this one more day. This isn't working. You know what I mean? I'm putting all my efforts in, and I'm not saying it doesn't work for everybody, but it wasn't working for me. Of saying, are you really impacting a difference, especially in the lives of women? So I went to say, oh, God, I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. But then he said, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to move, And I thought I was moving to Arizona. Thought I was moving to Southern Cal.
So let me ask you this. So did it ever come a time to where the work that you were doing, did you ever feel that you wasn't making any impact?
I was making an impact. However, as I said, when I heard that baby in jail for attempted murder, and I watched for 10 years her mother try and struggle, to get out of her, addiction, and she just really couldn't do it. And, then this is now going on to that next generation. That was hard. That was heartbreaking.
It was hard.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking. So it was just like, oh, I got to do something else. Still didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just knew it had to be something else different because that didn't. I know I made an impact for many. If you go back to Eastern Pennsylvania, they've been saying my praise. Oh my God, Miss Tonya did this and Miss Tonya did that. But as I said, that one child, like, oh, okay, stop. I'm going to have to stop. So when I stopped, I wanted to now go in to teach so that this way I didn't have to reintegrate. I didn't have to re-enter. You understand? Why don't I enter a child's life when they're younger? Why don't we keep them out of jail? That might work. So that's where we went. And that took a search. And then from there, I got hired as the executive director for the Girls After School Academy.
Well, let me ask you this. So how long have you been living in San Francisco?
24 years.
24 years.
Yes.
So you've been doing this work for over 24 years here in San Francisco?
Yes. Yeah, I've been doing this work I've been working since I was 14. I've been a teacher since I was 14. So I've taught you from sexually transmitted diseases to how to put in policies, I'm a teacher. So anything I like,
Right.
I teach it to, especially to younger people.
So are you currently teaching the same things today?
Yes. Yes.
So if let's just say we had some young ladies watching the program and wanted to be guided in guided in a positive way, a program. Do you guys provide any of that in your field?
I don't personally have a program. Today is the 26th of October and it's 2025. In 2012, on the same exact day, right? The board of directors decided they no longer needed my help at Girls After School Academy. I know that's what I said too. What? I said, what?
Yeah.
Like, the whole neighborhood said the same thing. Like, what? Like, what do you mean you don't need our help? Unfortunately, because they were misguided, that program no longer exists. However, right, I have over 400 women, right? Over 400 women, yes, because our motto was strong girls, powerful women. I got a bunch of powerful women. Ooh.
Okay,
And they
so-
just raising they strong little girls. Ooh, ooh. So, yeah.
Let me ask you this question. So, because I'm a little perplexed, I just want to know. So, at that particular time, was funding cut off at that time? Or?
No. Oh,
What?
God,
I
I
mean-
hope they don't see this, but here we go. You want me to go ahead and get
This
serious?
is Bay 100, keeping it real.
There you go.
We gonna keep it real.
What happened was, and I think it happens with a lot of nonprofits, smaller nonprofits in this city,
Okay.
is that you go get community board members because you want lived experience. You want people, not to just give you money, but you want people to help you with your mission and so on and so on. These, I'm not sure what happened, but I think in their mind, they were like, well, I made the job look real easy. And I think that they thought, well, if she made it look that easy, then we can do that real quick. That ain't gonna be no problem, because I'm a good fundraiser. I'm a little fundraiser magnet. So therefore, you know what I mean? So no, we weren't running out of money. As a matter of fact, we were literally regaining our status, you know what I'm saying,
Okay.
at the same time. So it was funny that this happened
Yeah.
at that time, because it was like, wait a minute. Funding is fluid, goes
Yeah,
up and down, right? But no, it was coming back up. As a matter of fact, I had just gotten a grant that we were supposed to only get it for $150. Came from a foundation. And I think like a week before that, they said, you know what, you did such an excellent job. We see y'all a little bit struggling. We want to help y'all with another area. They was going to give us $250,000. The board didn't know that. So when they made this decision, as the executive director, I just want to make sure everybody knows, organizations do not get funded because of the organization. They get funded because of the leadership.
Okay.
Because the people who are funding, especially private funders,
Okay.
they want to know, hey, do I trust that person? Is that person going to be, they bond? I mean, they telling me they're going to do this. Are they going to do this? Or,
Right.
we want to make sure that we are investing in the right things. So unfortunately, the board did not realize that we were on the upward trajectory. And I guess they was just looking for 150. But as the ED, I had to call it quickly and let them know, well, the board has chosen someone else. I don't know who, but they told me they didn't need me anymore. So unfortunately, that funding went so fast. It was everybody was like, oh, okay, can you do me a favor, rescind that letter? And I did that with a few foundations that we hadn't gotten approved yet.
Okay.
But I had to then rescind all the letters that I had sent out.
Do you ever think about trying to open up another program today? That's not your thing.
No, one of the things that I learned, I think every job, every statue in life, we learn something, right? You know, and I wanted to go as professionally, to run an agency. Did that? I can check that box.
Okay.
I'm good. No,
You good?
I'm in a position now to help other organizations,
Okay.
be more solid with their board practices, getting qualified board members, helping them actually get staff that's sustainable, not just there for a moment and the next thing you know they're gone. So I've moved into a different role with nonprofits of helping them.
So let
get the
me
best
ask you this.
things,
And I'm sorry. Let me ask you this. So, what if I wanted to run a nonprofit? You can help me out in that area.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I know it from backwards and forwards, yes. And
Alrighty.
but more importantly, I know the sustainability of it. It's not just throw something to the wind, and because if you do not have all aces in their places, then you're just going to be on the shaky ground. You have to have, solid board practices. You have to have solid policies and procedures in place. You just have to know, what it is that you're looking at, and then what staff are you looking for. Because a lot of times, for the time that I was running Gaza, my issue was that I was always in need of staff, and I was always in need of a particular staff, but because the need was so greater, then usually I just chose somebody that, it was like, I'm going to fit this into a job. Whereas today, my first rule with nonprofits, don't fit anybody into a job. No, make sure that they're the peg that's supposed to be there.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me ask you this. So you see what's going on here in San Francisco.
Yes.
You see all the stuff we're going through. You have any advice or any knowledge of what we can do to make things better?
Okay. In what particular area?
in terms of the way we living out, the way a lot of people are living out here now, struggling and going through, the unhoused people and people just going through things. I mean, you probably can explain it better than I can. People that unhoused, what do you consider they should be called? Unhoused or?
Well,
Help me out.
The unhoused really are, I think, people that we just call, what do they call them? House hunters or house hoppers. Okay. Meaning that they don't have a permanent resident that they can say that they're on. But I'm going to be honest. I'm going to go back to your first question.
Okay.
And it's not advice. It's a suggestion. One of the biggest things that I know in the Black community that we just were not taught. And I think it was because of the value of what we put on ourselves that society told us we were.
Right.
But we don't have the best knowledge of financial literacy.
Right.
So my biggest thing is I think that we need to look at, where am I spending my money and what is my priority on? Because I do a financial literacy class too called Financial Peace, which is an oxymoron. What do you mean, me in finance and peace too? Yeah. Because, everything that we see and have is God's. It's not ours. I mean, we're not even going to stay here for the whole journey.
Right.
So what is it that I'm doing with my time? What is it that I'm doing with my money? How am I prioritizing this? Because we have different priorities. Oh, I don't have no money, but my kid needs to be in a $300 pair of Jordans. Really? I mean, no, your kid needs some shoes. So I don't know whether the $300 need to be spent on Jordans. And I'm not saying that that's the reason why people are unhoused or people are not affording rent. Rent is unaffordable. We already know that.
Right.
But it's amazing to me that it's been always unaffordable for Black people. I've come from New York City and been raised practically in the South. None of my relatives, you got to live together. You got to figure it out together. It's not about, hey, you got to live over here, you live over. Okay, great, fine, and we all living in different places. But guess what? Where are we saving our money? Where are we actually gaining the fact that I can give my child anything? And it's not $300 pair of sneakers, but just some decent food.
Right.
And this the value of themselves, not the value of money, because money is fickle. I mean, you might have it one day and it's gone the next day, right? But without any financial literacy as to what my priorities need to be, then I think that that's what's causing a lot of our misconfusion about, what I should be having and where I should live. And I don't know, there's a lot of just complaints. I don't know. Today, I'm a foodie. I used to want to eat the finest food, still do. But if I don't, if I'm hungry, somebody taught me a long time ago, if you're hungry, you're going to eat. No matter what it is, right?
Right.
We got a society that says that, guess what, I'm hungry, but I'm not going to eat that. Really? Okay, so you're not hungry.
Right.
So I think we need to get really hungry is what I'm trying to say. I mean, I'm talking about the real hunger. Say I can make better priorities with whatever monies that I'm given. We stand on the shoulder of ancestors who's been beaten, who has been sexually brutalized, who has been killed. We stand on their shoulders.
Yes.
We're not all going through that. So I'm not sure what the issue is. When you ask me these questions, especially about Black people, I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't know when we forgot we were poor and we need to work together. So I think that would be, I'm just being honest. I'm like,
hey, that's an honest answer. You know, you can't get no honest than that.
Yeah. So
You know what I'm
in the
saying?
South, they work together, you know.
Yeah.
Let a hurricane come. I was in a hurricane in 2017. First time I was in an actual hurricane, you know. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is, you know, look, wait a minute, this is not working. And where is the electricity? Oh, they no, the electricity's gone, the wind and da-da-da. We got a loud generator, just a whole bunch of gas smoking. But guess what? When I came outside that morning, not one of us was hungry because everybody didn't have the same thing. And guess what was happening?
What was
That's right. Pop, 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 pop. All of those. Oh, that's right. What's that thing called? Oh God, I can't even think of them. Why can't I think of them? The barbecue pits. Barbecue pits started coming out and the whole thing. People started giving up different foods. Man, I ain't got no barbecue pit, but I got a bunch of steak. I got some hamburgers. We ate literally for 4 days just off of people's food. Don't even play. See, that's what I like about the state. So I do know, I just think as San Franciscans, I think we just need to get a little better at understanding that we're in it all together. And if I know that I'm here all together, I have no chance or reason to hate. So when you crawling out, it shouldn't be a crab and barrel moment, right? Oh my God, he's crawling out.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to crawl out. I want us all to come up. Every last one of us to come up. And that's what we did at Gaza. And that's why that was a successful program. I do want to brag just a little bit. And I know she's probably going to be like, oh my God. One of my girls and proteges is the state controller of our state. So whoop, don't tell me what we can't do together. It's about a bunch of people came together. We're all in a desperate situation. How do we make this work? That everybody survives, everybody thrives, and everybody can't thrive and survive the same way. See, that's the difference. Everybody, well, she's a little higher than me. Well, she might know a little bit more than you. She might have made other, roads and inways and so on and so on. But everybody is given that same tool. So,
and I'm glad you brought that up because it behooves me that we as people, as Black people, is so quick to pull each other down when one is trying to come up. I just don't get it. They speak on that crab in the barrel thing. Mm-hmm. It is so true. Yeah. You should want for your brother what you want for yourself. If it's that success.
Right.
When I'm speaking of success, I'm not speaking of nothing other than that, know. And I just have a hard time understanding that because situations came up for me, where it was a crab in that barrel. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to bring people up, uplift people, not bring them down. And our people seem to have a serious problem with that, working together with one another. Where do you think that comes from?
Well, that comes all the way, and I just have to tell you the truth because as running Gaza, we got one of the biggest things that I did with my girls was take them around trips because that's what exposes that the world you live in is bigger than what you see.
Right.
Okay. So we started off just going to Disney. Let's start off with Disney. We'll start off simple, right?
Right.
But we ended up in Africa. And when we came over to Africa, one of the things that they said and they taught us was, listen, we're very clear. We know why we're in the spot we're in. We went to Nigeria. They said, we know why we're in the spot that we're in right now. It's because when money came over, and really wasn't money, they traded us for tobacco. Right. They traded us for different seeds and different things that was not available in Africa. But what was happening was indentured servitude, right? So when one tribe, slaughtered another tribe, what they did was say, good, we can sell y'all to these people. I don't know why they didn't get the hint that didn't look like the same boat that was going to bring them back. And after 500 years, they didn't notice anybody came back. So I'm not sure what was happening over this time. But more importantly, it started from where we originated from. So I don't want to give white man or anybody the power over us.
Right.
We've always been in control.
Okay? Right.
So if we've always been in control, then why are we not in control? Because that's what you're asking. Well, why are we not in control? Why won't we? Because, and people want to say, oh, we learned it from the white man and enslaved men and so on and so on. No, that's your heart. I'm just going to be honest with you. That's your heart.
That's what I want.
That your heart is telling you to hate that next person. Nobody, no situation, and I know we can blame it on situations, but really it's your heart that tells you how you feel about another human being. My heart has no hatred, therefore I will never bring you down.
That's right.
I don't know nothing about that. What do you mean? Why wouldn't we? Why aren't we all rising?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not going to just continue to lean on things because they've happened. No, they happened for us, not to us. Nothing on this planet is to me. It's for me. So that means if you hate me, my job is to turn around and go, now, not why are you hating me, but how do I teach you to love? And how I teach you to love today is I throw love at you. See, boom.
Yes.
Hey, I tell you what, you hate me. Watch this. I'm about to throw some love on you, right? Most people can't figure me out. They're like, well, Jesus, I can't stand that woman. I'm going to throw some forgiveness on you too. Watch this. And then, oh, Lord, and when I come every morning with this joy, they be, oh, I'm so sick of her and that joy. We should stop doing that. You see what I'm saying? And then when you get mad, oh, I'm throwing some kindness. You know what I'm saying? The fruit of the Spirit, that's what I'm saying. That comes from your heart.
Yes.
And I don't want to blame it on, because we were once upon a time. I was never enslaved. You was never enslaved. So we can cut that out, right? We can stop saying, no, we were not enslaved, okay? And if you are enslaved, that's in your mind. And that's because it's in your heart. You telling me I can't get somewhere today? I can't be in love with this person? I have to pull this person down in order for what? You to get up. Where are you going?
Yeah.
Because if you pull somebody down, how you gonna get up? We not like the blinds over there. You pull the cord,
Yes.
It's going one way. It ain't going both ways.
Right.
So you know what I mean? You pull it down, you going down with it.
You going down with it.
So you asked me what was happening. I'm thinking, well, no, that's the heart. That's a heart condition right there. And as blacks, we just need to go ahead and be honest and talk about, hey, that's a heart condition. I don't like you because of something in me that I can't figure out that I don't like. It ain't even got nothing to do with you. It got something to do with me. So, yeah. I'm like,
oh, you couldn't have put that no better. Yes. I've been waiting for somebody to come on here and really put that the way it needed to be put. Because they need to hear it.
Yeah.
Because it's sad, and we need to stop it.
Yeah.
We really need to stop it. And we need to come together as a people.
Yeah.
And help each other. Because y'all see what that man doing.
Yeah.
You know what that man is?
What man?
Trump.
What man? Oh, Lord. Now, I know he ain't renting no space in your head, is he?
No, he ain't renting none in mine.
Okay. Well, you done said his name, so he ain't rented rented a minute there.
The reason why I said his name, I'm speaking to my people to know that they need to stick together because of what he's doing. He ain't renting no space in my mind. You understand me?
Well,
you gotta work with each other.
But you know what? I have a different idea about Donald. I don't call him his last name. Donald. Donald's been in my life since 1972. As I said, I'm a born and raised in New York City. That man, everything he's like New York City, so, right?
New York.
So everything he touches, I've watched fall down. But one of the first lessons I learned from Donald, right, was literally as a city. We sued him because he didn't pay taxes on a property he was supposed to pay taxes on.
Oh.
Now, at 9 years old, I don't know nothing about taxes, but I know you got to pay them, right? They said that, you got to pay taxes and then you die or something like that. The two things you're going to be entitled to on the earth, right?
Come on.
We sued him. I mean, the city and county of New York sued Donald. And Donald sued us back and got every last dime plus interest. See, don't play with me. That's when I went, uh-oh. I don't know who Donald is, but clearly, the only thing I got about that, I guess you don't have to pay taxes. See, so at night, kids are watching. I got to tell y'all this.
Come on
kids
with it.
Listen to the news, and how they interpret it is very different ways, right? And then I watched Donald literally take my city along with his dad just down into slum landlords, okay? And just, and then what I watched him do in the 80s, he went all the way across the bridge, even though I don't like New Jersey, but he went to Atlantic City. That's right. Next thing I know, it was on his ground too. So my whole point is, Donald cannot spend in one more moment. And Donald is here, as I keep telling people. We're not going to something, we're going for something. Okay. So we need to ask Donald, why is Donald the hell, the leader of all these guns. That's what I'm looking at. I mean, let's be honest.
Come on.
Right? We some bad momos, you know, because we
yeah.
got the biggest army, the biggest set of guns. We gonna whoop you know what.
Yes.
How did Donald get there? You know what I know about national leaders? They're chosen by God. Oh, well, Dad, let me watch what you finna do. Hold on. So Donald came in 2016, and I was like, oh, we're going to be doing something totally different. When we was finished with Donald, we had the caca called the coronavirus and the COVID and the da-da-da-da-da. So you get where I'm going. He touched it, and he did what it's supposed to do. Donald is here for a reason. Everybody, now you're going to give me something else. Now, for this time, I'm like, oh, Donald, what we go up to now? And then he got a cuckoo named Vance. So I don't know. I'm having too much fun watching God doing what he does. So I don't know
You're
the
right
last
about
time I watched it. I don't know the last time we
Yes.
ended with COVID. What we going to end in with this time?
Yes.
So I'm just being, you know,
Yes.
I don't look at it. I don't look at national leaders because I didn't vote for him. You didn't vote for him. I don't know who
Yeah,
voted
that's
for
right,
him.
that's right.
But clearly he's there, right? And he's there for God's purpose. So I'm just watching for what God's finna do. Because that we need to wake up as Americans. We have lost our value as to who we are. We're the only country that has the nerve and audacity to put in God we trust. I know God's like, whoa, I was backing on dollar bill. I don't have nothing to do with money. So you get where I'm going.
I get
So
it. I get it.
I don't, you know, last
Come
time I
on
said
with it.
something like this, somebody was, don't say America's going down. Well, okay, I won't say that. But wasn't there when the Roman Empire went down. I definitely wasn't there when the Egyptians went down. But we know they ain't in power no more, right?
That's
and
right.
once upon a time, the Germans was up. And we
Yeah.
know what happened. Guess what? They're a restored country.
Okay.
They understand all the evil that they allowed to happen.
Okay.
They needed to repent. And that's where I'm at with this country. I pray daily that we come to the repentance. But how you actually repent is that you got to go through some turmoil.
Yes.
And you got to go through some real bad times. So, yeah. You know,
Yes.
so no, I mean, hey, they voted Donald. I'm like, okay, Dad, what we doing now?
Okay.
I get excited about this. I don't
Oh,
look at
hey,
the
come
world
on.
as
Yeah.
I said, I started off, I told you, I've never seen it about what I can see tangibly. It's about what I can see
It's
that
about
I
what you can
cannot
see.
explain, but I
Yes.
nor can I deny. So, yeah, this will be interesting, yeah.
That
I don't
is-
know where you're going to play this at, but I know people are like, what? I didn't say anything wrong about Donald. I'm just saying, well, we going down. We have to go down because we're not doing what it is that God is asking us to do.
And I agree.
So, yeah.
And you put that so well, you know, because I was always told everything is on time, in time, all the time. Nothing is out of time.
Whoa, whoa.
You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
So we not out of time.
Yeah, right. Nope.
We right on time.
Yeah, right.
Would you say?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And we're watching the show. But I'm most proud of the ones that are after us. And I don't know what their new generations are called, but they're not going to just go into the good night. They're just not. They're like, I don't know about this because, you know, they're not buying into our lies. You know, like when we were
Right.
kids, well, everything is going to be all right. And these kids are like,
Yeah.
this don't seem like this is going to be all right. We need to speak up about this.
Right.
And if nothing else, we need to ignore it and become our own influence, our own circle of influence. As you notice, please, by 15 years old, you could be a millionaire today.
Yes.
So you get where I'm going. I'm looking like,
Yes.
no. So whereas Donald's just the old, that's right, it's the old stone that's about to get rolled over. You get where I'm going, you're like, okay, that's just, somebody has to, it's like a dying whale.
Yeah,
right?
I got
mean, you know what I mean? Like, you know
Yes.
how a whale has to die and they got to flap and
Yeah.
keep flapping until they lose their all breath. So I think that's the stage that we're in right now by the results of who we've been choosing. And I want to say literally since the 1980s. So I don't want to say Donald's the beginning.
Right.
I think Donald's one of the end of the way we look at the
Yes.
structure of how we see. Yeah. So,
Yes. That's very well put.
Yeah.
Well, if you'd like to add any more things, go ahead. If not, we're going to be closing.
Okay. Just want y'all to be aware that as a consultant, I'm now currently working with Booker T. Washington Community Service Center, and it is the oldest Black agency that we have in San Francisco. It's been around for 106 years. And a few years ago, we got together and we established an equity community organizing group. And whereas we looked at the different inequities of Blacks, and so then we came up with a few interventions. And one of them came all the way from Zimbabwe called the Friendship Bench. So in 2026, you're going to start to hear a lot more, advertisement and press and so on, because we have to go get it cleared with the board of supervisors that we can put a bench somewhere in San Francisco. But we're going to aim to put about 10 benches out. And what it is low cost, free to the person who needs the help, right? But it's a low cost mental health intervention program. So if, I'm walking, I've had a hard day, not feeling that well, mentally, maybe had, a horrible time at work or just got out of an appointment. And then all of a sudden there's going to be this very friendly bench, right? Like me, full of joy, right? And you can sit down. And the first thing we're going to ask is that you rest. Sit, relax your feet, get off your feet just for a few minutes. And then you'll see a telephone number and a QR code. Whereas you could just sit on the bench and talk to one of us, some of our friendly seniors from San Francisco.
Yes.
Where we are going to just cheer you up and have a good day and let you know that, hey, no matter what happened right now, we're going to know that, guess what? Nothing went wrong. All is all well, right? And we're going to ask you to have an awesome day.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
That is wonderful. I am looking forward for you to come back on the show and share some of this knowledge that you're sharing with us today, because we sure can use it.
Thank you.
Thank you. We really appreciate you being here.
Thank you. Thank you
and
for that.
Whenever you want to come back,
I'll let you know.
It's all good.
Okay. All righty.
With that being said, we're gonna close right now. This is Bay 100, keeping it real. For those of you out there, like I said before, this is a platform. You want to come on the platform and speak your mind, you're more than free to do so. You got any judging you want to do? Come on. And you can do all the judging and talking you want. So with that being said, everyone out there, have a blessed day. God bless. Thank you, Ms. Tonya, for everything. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right.
Woo, woo.
Was that all right?
Excellent.
So we gonna see. I'm just getting learning, Miss Tonya. You got me going now.
now you're like, oh my God.
My juices is flowing now. See, I'm learning. I love
her so much.
Because you was going, but we was about to go.
Yeah, I know.
We was about to take off.
That's what I was gonna tell you. I was like, no, I'm gonna talk.